Okay, so let's dive into this. When you think about the future of tech and commerce, especially in emerging markets like many in Africa, what picture usually comes to mind?
Well, I think for a lot of us, it's that standard big tech narrative, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. These huge platforms, chasing billion-dollar valuations, trying to be the next Amazon or Shopify on a global scale.
That's the dominant story we hear. But the source we're looking at today paints a really different picture. It suggests the future there might not look like that big tech playbook at all.
And that's fascinating because if it flips the script, right? The source isn't seeing this like empty space waiting for one giant company.
No, not at
Right.
all. It points to millions of micro entrepreneurs who are already operating. They're just doing business in a way that, well, the standard Silicon Valley model isn't really built for.
Right, because those big platforms, they assume certain things are just there.
Exactly. Things like super stable, widespread internet, easy access to banks and credit, lots of disposable income floating around, and really efficient centralized logistics.
And according to the source, in many parts of Africa, those pieces, they just aren't consistently available for everyone.
Precisely. So if you're a small seller thinking about building a complex website or getting customers to download yet another app, learn online payments.
It just doesn't match how people actually live and work day to day.
Yeah.
So how does business get done then, based on what the source tells us?
Well, it happens with the tools people already know and use constantly. The source mentions things like sales happening right there in WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Payments might be a mix of cash and mobile money. Devices are often powered by generators because the grid isn't always reliable.
Around.
And many sellers, they just can't afford or frankly don't need the complexity of a full software suite.
So this is where it gets really interesting for you, the listener. The source highlights a specific tech example built for this reality. It's called Selekta AI.
Yes, and they present it as a key example of what they call small tech.
What's so different about Selekta AI's approach, according to the source?
What's really clever, as the source describes it, is its simplicity and how it integrates. It doesn't try to pull people onto some new platform or force them to change how they work.
Yeah.
It takes the most common app on the continent, WhatsApp, and uses AI to basically turn it into a smart sales assistant inside the chat.
So no app to download, no complex dashboard to figure out.
Exactly. It's just a chat, an AI-powered chat, always on, right there in your WhatsApp, ready to handle customer inquiries and sales.
And the source points to the genius being its design, right? It's described as modular, affordable.
And almost invisible to the user. It fits right into how people already do business on WhatsApp. It adds value without making them ditch their existing ways of doing things. It helps what they're already doing.
Okay, so let's connect the dots. What does this small tech approach really mean for the future of commerce and maybe even AI in places like Africa?
Well, the source makes a strong case here. It suggests that maybe the most impactful future isn't about the hunt for the next massive disruptor company with a huge IPO. Maybe the real opportunity, the real need, is for this kind of small tech. Smart, super simple tools built with local understanding that can just quietly help millions of individual sellers grow bit by bit.
The source talks about the real billion-dollar story not being the headline about one unicorn company.
Exactly. It reframes it completely. Think about it. If a tool like Selekta helps, say, 200,000 small businesses increase their monthly income by even just $500 each,
Okay, yeah.
that small win multiplied by hundreds of thousands or millions, that's the massive economic impact. That's the billion-dollar story happening in homes and communities, not just, in a boardroom.
It sounds like the vision here is less top-down platform dominance.
I mean, much more peer-to-peer community-driven, a kind of bottom-up revolution, really.
And AI's role in that.
According to the source, AI, when built thoughtfully with empathy and local insight, like Selekta aims to do, isn't about replacing people. It's about scaling this bottom-up movement. It helps amplify what individuals can achieve.
It's an interesting contrast. Big tech often builds for the investor presentation, for the boardroom metrics.
Right, whereas this small tech approach, using Selekta as the example, seems focused squarely on the user, like the woman selling Puff Puff, trying to earn enough for her child's school fees.
Giving her a tool to grow without needing, say, a dedicated salesperson or complex software she can't use or afford.
That's the idea. One agent, one business, one WhatsApp chat at a time. That's how the source portrays Selekta's impact.
So it leaves you with a really interesting question to think about
Yeah.
based on this source.
Yeah, what's the true measure of tech progress? Is it really about those massive company valuations we always hear about?
Or is it about enabling millions of individuals to achieve their own goals, build their own livelihoods, quietly and effectively?